Hello students, welcome you all in the lecture series of strength of material. Till now we have covered principal planes and principal stresses. Principal planes are those planes on which normal stress is maximum, and on the same planes we have zero shear stress. Okay. Now the second case is planes of maximum and minimum shear stress. Okay. We are having the general loading condition. In the general loading condition, we have sigma x, we have sigma y, and we have tau x y, and we are having sigma x, sigma y, and tau x y. Okay. Sigma x, sigma y, and tau x y. Okay. Now on these planes, on this element, we have to calculate the planes on which we are having maximum and minimum shear stress. So for the maxima minima condition, we can take our formula for the shear stress tau s. Tau s is equal to minus sigma x minus sigma y minus sigma x sigma y by 2 sin 2 theta plus tau x y and cos 2 theta. So this is the formula for the shear stress on a particular plane. So if we have to calculate the location of the plane on which the shear stress is maximum, so we will differentiate this equation d by d theta of tau s equal to 0, d by d theta of tau s equal to 0. So from here we can calculate that this d by d theta of this element, d by d theta of this one will be equal to minus sigma x minus sigma y by 2. Differentiation of sin 2 theta is minus cos, means cos 2 theta multiplied by 2 plus tau x y cos 2 theta is minus sin 2 theta into 2 equal to 0. Okay, equal to 0. From here we can calculate the value of tan 2 theta, and that tan 2 theta is coming out to be sigma x minus sigma y minus of sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 tau x y, or this one we can write also 1 upon minus 1 upon 2 tau x y divided by sigma x minus sigma y. Okay. This value 2 tau x y divided by sigma x minus sigma y, we have reached this value for that principal stress case also. Okay. So from here we can say that this is the location on which the principal, on which the shear stresses are maximum and minimum. From here we will get the values, two values of theta, let us say that is theta 3 and theta 4. Theta 1, theta 2 we have taken for principal stresses. So theta 3 and theta 4 is for the shear stresses. Okay. Now we have also assumed that, let us say the value, this value is coming out to be minus 1. Let us say we have assumed, okay, this value is coming out to be minus 1. We have assumed this value for the principal stress case also. If this value is coming to be minus 1, then principal stresses we have calculated. Principal stresses theta 1 is at 67.5 degree and theta 2 is 157.5 degree. Okay. This one was the principal stresses. Now corresponding to the same loading condition, we can calculate this tan 2 theta equal to, this value is minus 1, this is minus 1. So it is coming out to be 1, means 2 theta we are getting 45 and 225. Okay, 45 and 225. So theta 3 is coming out to be 22.5 and theta 4 is coming out to be 112.5. From here we can observe that the theta 3 and theta 4 are having 90 degree angle. So we can say that the both the maximum and minimum shear stress planes are perpendicular to each other, and between each principal plane, these are the principal planes, these are the principal planes. Okay, so these are the principal planes. Here we are having 45-degree angle between each of the planes. Okay, from here we can say that, let's say this is the general case I am drawing. Let's say this is the sigma 1 plane and this is the sigma 2 plane. Okay, so sigma tau plane is having 45-degree, okay, is having 45-degree, and tau 2 plane, let's say tau 1 plane is the maximum shear stress plane, and tau 2 plane is for the minimum shear stress plane. So the angle between each plane is 45-degree. So these are the two observations we are having. Okay, now on the principal planes, shear stress is 0 and normal stress is maximum and minimum. In case of maximum and minimum shear stress plane we are having shear stress maximum and minimum, but we can't say that normal stress is 0 on these planes. Okay, so this point we have to remember, that on maximum and minimum shear stress plane normal stress is not 0. Okay, but on the principal plane shear stress is 0 and normal stress is maximum and minimum. So this part we have to remember. Okay, now these are the values for the principal planes and the maximum shear stress plane, maximum principal plane. Okay, principal planes and principal planes and principal stresses, then we are having shear stresses and shear stress plane. Okay, now if we have the value of theta 1 and theta 3 and theta 4, we can get by putting the value of these values tau xy, sigma x and sigma y, we can get theta 3 and theta 4. By putting theta 3 and theta from theta 3, let's say we have replaced this theta by theta 3, then we can get tau 1. Theta 4 we can get by replacing theta with theta 4, we can get tau 2. Okay, and in the same manner we can calculate the normal stress also by putting theta equal to theta 3 one value and theta equal to theta 4 second value. So on the shear stress planes we will get tau 1, tau 2 and sigma 1 and sigma 2. Okay, this is the maximum shear stress, minimum shear stress, but these are not the principal stresses. These are just normal stress, sigma n1 and sigma n2. Okay, and on principal planes we are having sigma 1 and sigma 2. Okay, and tau 1 equal to tau 2 equal to 0. Okay, so this difference we have to remember. This is for shear stress planes, and this is for principal planes. Okay, so now we have developed, till now we have seen that we have principal stresses, principal plane, shear stresses, maximum shear stresses and maximum and minimum shear stress planes. Okay, now we will develop some cases. Okay, so the first case, that is the generalized case. Okay, that generalized case we have already discussed. Okay, that I am taking that one is case 1. Okay, that is I am taking case 1. Case 1 I am taking biaxial and shear stress condition. Okay, first case I am taking biaxial and shear stress condition. Okay, the case is we are having an element. Okay, and that element is subjected to biaxial stress. Biaxial stress means sigma x is acting. Okay, sigma x is acting, sigma y is acting, sigma y is acting, and tau xy is also acting. Okay, tau xy is also acting. This is the generalized case which we have already solved. Okay. Now on particular plane, we are calculating the value of normal stress and shear stress. That case we have already discussed, and the case is biaxial, means sigma x and sigma y is acting. Shear stress condition means shear stress is also acting. Then we have derived two formulas, sigma n is equal to sigma x plus sigma y by 2 plus sigma x minus sigma y by 2 cos 2 theta plus tau xy sin 2 theta. Okay. This is the value of normal stress on a particular plane when the element is subjected to biaxial and shear stress condition. Okay. The value of shear stress on that plane, the location of plane is theta, is minus sigma x minus sigma y by 2 sin 2 theta plus tau xy cos 2 theta. Okay. So this is the generalized case. Okay. That case we have taken case 1. Now we are having case 2, and the case 2 is when we are having direct shear stress condition. When we are having direct shear stress condition, direct shear stress condition. Okay. This is case 2, direct shear stress condition. It means direct shear stress condition is nothing but unidirectional stress condition. Okay. And that unidirectional stress condition is like that. Unidirectional shear stress condition means we are having sigma and sigma, unidirection, only in the one direction the stress is acting. And now we have to derive the formula for sigma and tau s, means on particular plane we have to calculate the value of normal stress and shear stress. So by putting some conditions, on this formula, we can derive the formula for case 2. Okay. Case 1 is the generalized case. Okay. What conditions we are going to put? We are going to put sigma x is equal to sigma, okay, and sigma y equal to 0 because we are having unidirectional. Sigma y is equal to 0. There is no shear stress, then tau xy is also equal to 0. Okay. Now put these values on sigma n and tau s. We can calculate sigma n is equal to sigma x is equal to sigma. So that is equal to sigma by 2 plus put the value of sigma x is equal to sigma y is equal to 0 and tau xy is equal to 0. Now we will get sigma by 2 plus sigma by 2 cos 2 theta, or we can write sigma by 2 1 plus cos 2 theta, or we can write sigma by 2 1 plus 2 cos square theta minus 1, this 1 will cancel out, and we will get sigma 2 cancel out, sigma cos square theta. Okay. So sigma n is equal to this one. Tau s, again same, by putting the conditions we will get minus sigma by 2 cos 2 theta minus sigma by 2 cos 2 theta, tau xy 0 and sigma y 0. So from here we can get this will be sin 2 theta. Okay. This will be sin 2 theta. Here we are having sigma by 2 sin 2 theta. Okay. Sin 2 theta will be equal to 2 sin theta cos theta, means we will get minus sigma sin theta and cos theta, minus sigma sin theta and cos theta. From here From here also, in this case, we can calculate the value of resultant stress, and resultant stress will be equal to sigma n square plus tau s square. Okay, that is the resultant stress, because both the stresses are perpendicular to each other. So resultant stress will be equal to sigma n square plus tau x square. Here also we can calculate sigma r, which is equal to sigma n square plus tau s square, and that will be equal to under root of sigma n square. Sigma n square is sigma cos square theta whole square plus minus sigma sin theta and cos theta whole square. Okay. From here we can calculate sigma r. Sigma will come outside. Here we will have cos to the power 4 theta. This cos will come outside. We can take sigma cos theta outside from the under root. Inside we will have cos square theta plus sin square theta, and cos square sin square theta will be equal to 1. Then sigma r we can write sigma cos theta. Okay. So the objective was to determine the value of normal stress and shear stress for a particular condition, and the condition is direct shear stress condition. First we have derived for the generalized condition. Now we are putting the cases. Okay, this is for the generalized case. Okay, case 1. Now case 2 we have taken only one stress in the x direction. Okay, now with the help of we can calculate normal stress and shear stress on a particular plane, and location of plane is given here. Now we can calculate, we can go for the second case, that is case 2, case 3. Now case 3. Now what we are doing for the case 3? Case 3 we are taking biaxial stress condition. Biaxial stress condition. Biaxial stress condition. Now biaxial stress condition means biaxial. We are going to take the stresses in two directions, that is sigma x and sigma x. We are taking sigma x and we are taking sigma y. Okay, we have taken the stresses in two directions, that is known as the biaxial stress condition, case 3. Okay, now case 3 we can derive the relations for case 3 by putting some conditions on case 1. Conditions are tau xy equal to 0. Conditions are tau xy equal to 0, sigma x we have taken sigma x, and sigma y we have taken sigma y. So putting these values on the generalized equation, we can calculate the normal stress on that plane, and that normal stress will be equal to sigma x plus sigma y by 2, sigma x plus sigma y by 2 plus sigma x minus sigma y by 2 cos 2 theta tau xy we have taken 0. Then tau s we will have minus sigma x minus sigma y by 2 sin 2 theta tau xy 0. Okay, from here we can also calculate the value of resultant stress. Sigma r is the resultant stress, and resultant stress will be equal to sigma n square plus tau s square. Okay, so this is the case 3. How we are going? We have developed first for the generalized case. Okay, first for the generalized case, and now we are putting conditions by conditions. First condition we have unidirectional stress condition. Okay, unidirectional means in the single direction. Sigma x equal to sigma y, sigma y equal to 0, tau xy equal to 0. Now we have derived. Then second case biaxial means sigma x equal to sigma x, sigma y equal to sigma y, tau xy equal to 0. So this is for the biaxial condition. Okay, now for the third case, case 4. Now we are having case 4, and case 4 is case 4. Okay, case 4 is the pure shear stress condition. Case 4 is pure shear stress condition. Okay, pure shear stress condition. Pure shear stress condition means now we are having only shear stress. Okay, no normal stress is acting, we are having pure shear stress. Pure shear stress means sigma x equal to 0, sigma y equal to 0, and we are having only tau. Okay, so pure shear stress condition we are taking sigma x equals to 0, sigma y equals to 0, and suppose we have taken tau xy is equal to tau. Okay, so this is the pure shear stress condition. Now putting values on sigma n in the generalized formula, we have sigma x plus sigma y by 2, that is 0, sigma x minus sigma y by 2 cos 2 theta, that is 0. Finally we are having tau sin 2 theta, tau sin 2 theta, then shear stress minus sigma x minus sigma y by 2 sin 2 theta, that is 0, and we are having tau cos 2 theta. So this is the value of normal stress and shear stress, normal stress and shear stress on a particular plane. The loading conditions are pure shear stress condition. Okay, pure shear stress condition means there is no normal stress is acting. Okay, now from here we can also calculate the value of resultant stress. Okay, so resultant stress means the normal stress is acting normal, shear stress is acting perpendicular. From here we have calculated sigma r, that is sigma r, this is sigma n, and this is tau. Okay, because both the stresses are perpendicular to each other. Sigma r will be equal to under root of sigma n square plus tau s square, and sigma n square is tau sin 2 theta whole square plus tau cos 2 theta whole square. From here we can get sin square 2 theta plus cos square 2 theta, that is equal to 1, and sigma r will be equal to tau. So the resultant stress is equal to tau, and normal stress is tau sin 2 theta, and shear stress is tau cos 2 theta. Okay, so these are the generalized case. Okay, these are the special cases which we have derived from the generalized case. Okay, the objective is first we have derived the generalized case. The derivation I have already solved. Okay, first we have developed for the generalized case. Okay, and this is the resultant stress. First we have developed for the generalized case sigma n and tau s. Now we are putting some special conditions. Condition is direct shear stress. Direct shear stress, or we can write unidirectional stress condition. Unidirectional stress condition. Unidirectional means only in one direction. Sigma x is equal to sigma, sigma y equal to 0, and tau xy equal to 0. That is direct shear stress. By putting conditions on our generalized case, we can calculate tau sigma n and tau s on a particular plane. Okay. Now this third case, biaxial condition. Biaxial condition means now we have sigma x equal to sigma x, sigma y equal to sigma y, and tau xy equal to 0. So this is the biaxial. Okay, that one we have already. The objective is same. Objective is to calculate the normal stress and shear stress on a particular plane. Fourth case we have discussed for the pure shear stress condition. In pure shear stress condition, sigma x equal to 0, sigma y equal to 0, and tau xy equal to tau. Okay, by putting these values on our generalized case, we can calculate normal stress and shear stress on a particular plane. Okay, so if in exam you have asked to calculate the normal stress and shear stress on a particular case, like they said calculate for the direct shear stress condition. Okay, then first you have to derive, because we have taken sequence from the reverse. First we have taken the generalized case. So first derive for the generalized case, then put condition. Okay, let's say it is asked to calculate for the unidirectional case. So first calculate for the generalized case, put condition equal to 0. Okay, put this one, put our conditions. After that you can derive relation again. Suppose it is asked to calculate for the biaxial stress condition. First derive for the generalized case, then put conditions, and you will get the normal stress and shear stress on a plane which is making angle theta. The conditions of loading are the biaxial stress condition. Okay. So this is it for today. So this part is known as the analytical analysis. Okay. So here we are analyzing all the cases analytically. Now the second type is to analyze all these cases graphically. That is known as the Mohr circle. Okay. So in the next lecture we will discuss what is Mohr circle, how to draw the Mohr circle, that is graphical method. Okay, how to draw the Mohr circle for the different stress conditions. Okay guys, this is it for today. Thank you.